Hello and welcome back. In today's video, I want to kind of go back a little bit and talk about why I started Capsule Wardrobes. This is a big part of my brand, a big part of what I talk about a lot on my Instagram and on my blog as well. And I know there are so many people who are kind of jumping on this minimalism train, on this capsule wardrobe train, and it kind of just seems a little bit overwhelming and kind of a little bit too much like a trend, and the term has kind of gotten a little sour, I find. But I wanted to actually, instead of sitting here and saying this is how you are going to start one and this is everything that you're going to learn and what is going to come out of this, I want to kind of go back to where it all started and why I started creating them in the first place. And it all goes back to a very deep and personal trauma that I went through almost a decade ago. So I'm not going to really go into detail about that because it is very personal and it is not really my story to tell. But I do want to explain and talk about the feelings that came out of that and how I tried to move forward and how I sort of did move forward after that happened. So before you kind of look at this video and think, oh, it's just another capsule wardrobe video, so ridiculous, roll your eyes and kind of pass through it. This is not really that type of video. It's more so really getting to the root of a trauma, of a death in the family, and how, I don't want to say necessarily capsule wardrobes, but more so just the act of minimizing and looking deep into my life after that happened and sort of figuring out how I wanted to move forward and what I wanted to do. So if you are somebody who has dealt with a death or some sort of trauma, or you are just feeling really down about life, this video is for you, and I'm making this video for you and I'm opening up for you because back then, again, almost a decade ago, I didn't have that, and I did search long and far for someone who was talking about this type of thing, and no one really was. And that was also, I guess, sort of when YouTube wasn't as popular, so it was very hard to find these types of resources without, physically like going and paying for resources, professional resources. So I do have a list of sort of the 3 key pillars that were really the reasons why I started doing this out of grief, out of bereavement, out of trying to move on and trying to find something that was perhaps a little bit more positive than that awful, debilitating feeling that you feel when you deal with a death in the family. So I have them written down, so I probably will end up looking at the sheet a little bit just to kind of get those key points out properly so that I'm not like rambling or forgetting what I'm saying and things like that. So basically I started creating capsule wardrobes out of grief. And when I say that, it's for a lot of different reasons. But number one, feeling like I needed to just declutter. So decluttering really clears up your mind and kind of brings perspective into your life. And when you are feeling like things are just so horrible and you don't know how to move forward, I think a lot of the crap, if you will, that is around us really has a hand in the clutter in our mind, our hearts, and our overall well-being when we are going through those types of things. And I know a lot of people, when they deal with a death, they go through, if you ever see, like, I know this isn't the greatest example, but if you ever see like a movie or something like that, and the woman is just, or the man or whoever it is just like grabbing a whole bunch of stuff, they basically like clear out their entire house and they kind of start fresh because they just don't want any memories or anything like that. So it's not so much doing that, but it's just clearing my mind and my soul for maybe newer things to kind of come in and giving the space that I need to worry about other things. So I will link the minimalists somewhere on this page. I will link their resources as well. I know, again, minimalism is like a huge trend. So many people are jumping on it, and they are essentially the people, I would say, that started it, that really got it mainstream. They do have a lot of resources. They have a book, a podcast, a blog, a general website, so many resources on all different reasons why emotionally decluttering is really good for you. In particular, their podcast episode 223 goes over bereavement, loss, death, grief, all of that. So if you are going through that type of thing, check that out. They go through so many different great key points in that episode, and it's very valuable and worth listening to. I will link all of those resources down below, as well as their channel. I'm sure you've heard of it. They're huge. They even have a small series on Netflix, so that is kind of a good resource. The second point I have is having a sense of control. So when something like that happens, something really bad happens, you immediately want a sense of control because it makes you feel better. It's like any trauma in your life or anything bad that happens, you want to grab like the smallest little ounce of hope and of happiness and go with that because you have that sense of control. So actually going through my closet, taking everything out, throwing everything onto the ground, going through all of it, having sort of a guide and a step-by-step process helped me gain a little bit of control in my life. I know a lot of people grieve differently, they go through these motions differently, and I'm not saying that this is a one-size-fits-all. It is not, and this didn't happen for me the next week. It takes a long time. Once I felt like I was in a place where I could actually breathe a little bit, I started wanting a little bit of sense of control back in my life. And the third point is actually kind of like a Marie Kondo point, but it's bringing back a little bit of joy. So when you are able to feel a little bit of joy back into your life afterwards, it doesn't necessarily have to be right away. It doesn't have to be like the next week or anything like that. It's nice because for me, for example, I'm gonna put that down. I found that curating my closet and looking forward to filling in the gaps, whether there was a gap that needed to be filled when it came to pants for work, or when it came to dresses for the summer, or whatever the case may be, it was nice. I mean, shopping is definitely something that can be harmful for a lot of people, but it's also something that can be really beautiful, and looking at pieces that make you really happy and that you're looking forward to wearing, and that, you know, you're looking forward to a specific event because you're going to wear that piece, is something that really helped me. So bringing back little tiny joys. So everyone is different. Everyone has a different timeline when it comes to these things, but I just wanted to go over the 3 reasons really why I started building capsule wardrobes, so that you can kind of get an idea of more so my overall brand. And I wouldn't even necessarily say it always has to be capsule wardrobes, and let's use that keyword all the time, but it's just having a small curated collection of pieces that I want to wear all the time, and that I want to switch up, that are really versatile, because I am trying to work towards a better and healthier life after all of this. If you are somebody that is dealing with this type of thing, it's something as small as just curating something in your life that you love and working towards that. That is basically why I started creating Capsule Wardrobe, was to get through a time in my life that was really, really difficult. And when I did learn about Capsule Wardrobe, it was through the Style Bee and through Caroline Joy, and I will link their accounts as well as their websites below. And looking at their websites and their life, their lifestyle, everything was just so calming to me and so beautiful to me and slow. And that was so important, was to have that slowness. But essentially, it's not, like I said, so much the capsule wardrobe thing in word in itself, but it's just creating something that you have control over, that is you know, decluttering all of the other crap in your life and creating a little bit of joy and some goals as well. So yeah, that's it for this sit down video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I mean, I would love that if you did. If you subscribe, that would be amazing. And I think that's it, yeah. So I'll see you for my next video, which will be a walkthrough of my capsule wardrobe and everything that's in there, and some try-ons and all that good stuff. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you again soon. We'll see you in the next one. We'll see you next week.